ALU encouraging students to declare their mission. Next slide, please. So talking about mission, as I said, ALU is on a mission to develop ethical entrepreneurial leaders. And talking about mission, ALU is different from other universities. You don't just go to ALU and sit and concentrate on your program and go graduate. As you concentrate on the program, which we're going to show you some of the programs we offer, you're also we're encouraging you to declare a mission, something you're passionate about, something maybe it's, you discovered something that is a problem in your community where you're coming from, but you don't know how to tackle it. So ALU will give you a room to declare it as something you want to work towards as your mission until you graduate. Some students turn their mission into career. They will join ALU and then declare their mission. They focus on it with the help of our experts until graduation. They end up turning the mission into a career. Please, you can visit our page. Princess, you can drop the link in the chat so that students can read more on our programs. So joining ALU is you're joining your work is going to be your campus. So as I told you, our learning model is a little bit different from other universities. So we encourage students, it's a hybrid, We offer hybrid program. What do I mean by hybrid? So students will be on campus on their first trimester. And then after that, they will study online. They can decide to go back to their home country or remain in Rwanda. But all their study will shift online. So we have hubs all over Africa. So hubs are not ALU campuses, but they're ALU presence in some of the countries where most of our students come from. But as time goes on, we keep on adding more hubs in different countries. As you can see, we have a hub in Nairobi, in Ethiopia, in Kampala, in Lagos, and we are opening more hubs across Africa so that when you go back home, you still have an ALU community in your country. These hubs, you can go to these hubs and they provide everything a student need, internet, good space for studying. And we also we organize events that happen in these hubs. So we want you to get to be near to the problem you want to solve in your community. And you can decide, if you decide to go to another country that has an ALU hub, so you're not alone, you still have an ALU community where you can go and do your studies. So joining ALU, you're also joining a big Pan-African network. So here you will meet different people from all over the world. Our staff come from everywhere in the world, and not only in Africa. We have Americans, we have Europeans, we have Africans from different African countries, not just Rwanda. So you are joining a Pan-African network, joining ALU. Next slide, please. So what would you study at ALU? So we are focusing on developing ethical entrepreneurial leaders. So when I talk about leaders, I don't necessarily mean political leaders. You can be a leader in any field. You can be a leader in business. You can be a leader in any field. So as I told you, we are not it's mission, not major. We are not focusing more on programs you can do. We are focusing on ethical entrepreneurial leaders. So we have a program called Bachelor of Entrepreneurial Leaders, which is 3 years, and you'll be awarded a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurial leaders. Some of the specialization under this, we have 3 specializations that you can decide to follow: business strategy and investment, we have planetary health and management, or policy and advocacy. So under this program, you can decide to follow one of these paths. And some of our tuition fees is $3,000 per year, which can be paid in 2 installments. And some of our admission requirements, you need to have passed 3 subjects in your A level. 3 subjects in your A level. One of them has to be the core subject. For example, different countries do different, they do exams differently. For example, some country you find maybe in A level, somebody's doing 3 principal courses, and then there's another optional one, and another general course. So in total, you find them doing five subjects in their national exam. So what do we mean by having 3 passes with an average of C? So among these 3 core subjects, it can be one where you get a C, and then the rest 2 can be from the other optional courses. English is also required. Let's say if you did not do English in your national examination, you'll be required to do English proficiency test. Next slide, please. So we also have Bachelors of Software Engineering. This is another program you can do at ALU. So you can be a leader in tech and a leader in business. You can be a leader in anything. So it's also a 3 years program, and you can specialize in machine learning, full stack web developer, low-level programming. So these are specialization where you can decide to specialize under this program. And the requirement is it's the same 3 principal passes with C average, but it's different. The only difference is that you must have, at least in high school, taken mathematics as a subject or any computer-related subject, because software engineering has some element of mathematics or physics. But good news is, even if you didn't do mathematics in high school and you still want to do, maybe you did some training and you have some computer knowledge, you still want to do software engineering, but you didn't do anything like physics, like mathematics, or in high school, you can still, you will be requested to do a test. If you pass it, this test is not complicated. So this test it will be done in your first trimester. And if you pass it well, you will be able to enroll into software engineering, even though your initial idea was to do Bachelors of Entrepreneurial Leadership. So it's just one thing I want to highlight. Students at ALU, in their first term, they don't jump straight into their degree program. They will first do what we call foundational courses, all of them. And then as they decide as well what they want to do, which program they want to take among these 2 programs. So you may decide, you may find maybe you have business skills in your first trimester, and then you change. If you came for software engineering, then you can change to Bachelors of Entrepreneurial Leadership. So in first semester, students are being taken through, they are given some skills that employers are looking for that you may not study once you decide which program you're doing. So by the time you finish your first semester at ALU, you're even ready for work, because the skill you get, it's what exactly employers are looking for. Okay, so how can you apply to ALU? So it's very simple. ALU application is one of the simplest. You can even finish in 2 days if you have all the documents required. Even in 1 day, it's possible. So you first start by going to our website. You register. What you do is registration. You'll be asked a couple of information about yourself. After registering, you will wait for an email with the link to start the actual application. So what do I mean by the actual application? This is where now you create an account by clicking on register. Once you click on that link, it will take you to this page more about you. And you click on register to register so that you can create your own account. So once you register successfully, now you'll be able to start your actual application, where you'll be asked to provide your academic documents and etc. Next slide, please. Yeah, so some of the documents required when you're doing your application, your identification is very important. Passport, if you don't have an ID is only for local Rwandans, but if you are international, I would advise you to use a passport. If you're a refugee and you don't have a passport yet, you can use your ID card, your refugee ID card. A birth certificate is also accepted in case you still waiting for your national identity card. Some of academic documents, your final national examination, very important. Final national examination, sometimes students tend to confuse it with the high school transcript. This is the one you get when you finish high school. It's normally given by the government institution that is in charge of giving a national examination. So this is what we call national secondary examination result, and it's very important document that will give you an admission at ALU. You also be required to submit your grade reports, the last 3 academic year reports, high school reports. They also are important. And if you've done some of these languages here, I would say recommend Duolingo. It's very affordable and fast. For English proficiency is important, especially if you didn't do your national examination, your English in your national examination. Next slide, please. So when you go to this admission help center, you'll be able to read through a lot of information that is very important for you. Please drop this link in the chat. It's help@alueducation.com. Yeah, so this help desk you'll be able to read more about ALU, everything you need on this page. And if you have any question, you can still use this. You can click on submit a request and ask any question, and the team. So you can still use the same help center to search for anything you want by typing in the chat, in the space there, written search.
Hi, Eric. Please, they can't hear you very well, so can you increase the volume of your voice?
All right, but Princess, can you hear me, or maybe the issue is on their side?
Yeah, most likely. I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Guys, please make sure you have a stable internet connection. It could probably be from your side, or increase the volume of your device if you have it.
Yeah,
I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
All right. So as I said, you can click on submit a request if you have any question, and select the category, one of the category. Yeah. Next slide.
Okay.
So this is our fee structures. This is how it looks like. Once a student is admitted, they will be required to pay the deposit of 250, which is will be deducted from the tuition fees. Then they will go through there's another section in the portal. Once a student is admitted, they get access to admitted student portal. That's where they do this. You get all the payment details once you admitted. You don't need any application fees. All you need is to start your application, and then money will be involved once you are admitted. Also, this is health insurance fees. You select your package. If you want to stay in your residence, you also have an option to select it. If you don't want, it's optional. Yes. Next slide. So this is our application deadlines. The application for January intake is open. Even for May 2024 is open. You can select the intake you want when you start application. Please make sure you submit your application before November 1st. And the January intake will start on the 8th of January. So admission decision go out every week after your submission. Next slide, please. So these are some of the tips for applying to ALU. There's also a guide, application guide, which you can read through. It will guide you. So one, don't wait until the last moment. The earlier you submit your application, the better. Make sure you don't rush to submit when you don't have the right document. Even though I said the earlier the better, but submitting with the right document will make the process faster and easier, your admission process faster and easier. And also always refer to our help desk, because there's a ton of information there that could help you. So this guideline, Princess, I'm sure you've shared it with them. You can read through.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, basically this is it. I think we have time for questions. Yes.
Hello,
So guys,
good evening.
if you have a question, okay. Hi, please raise your hand so we can call you after the person has asked the question.
Okay, I'm Joseph Gola.
Okay.
Yes, can you get me?
Yes.
Yes, we you.
Okay, I'm Joseph, and I am from Kenya. And over the
Yes.
time, I've been interested to join the African Leadership University. I'm sorry, I just joined the meeting some 10 minutes ago because there was a problem in the network. But I was just asking, what if after this meeting, if you don't mind, you share with me the courses that are offered in the African Leadership University, so that I can get in touch with them. And again, I'm asking a second question, that is this a scholarship, or is this an application that you're doing, after which you will fund it by your own self? Thank you.
Great. So let me start with the second question. This is not about a scholarship, but ALU offers a scholarship as well. You can apply for scholarship. Our scholarship is competitive, but there is a chance for everyone to apply for scholarship. The second question, it's about the program offered. We are focusing on developing ethical entrepreneurial leaders. As I said, you can be a leader in any field. When I say a leader, don't think I'm talking about political leaders only. But I'm going to share a link with you where you will get more about any information you need.
Okay, can I also chip in a little bit?
Yes, please.
About the programs we offer. So if you want to know more, we also have a webinar like this for our degree program, which we go into details, the courses we offer, how we offer them, the tracks, their path, and everything, basically just everything you need to know about the degree programs we offer. So to register, you can go on our website, We have the links there, we have the dates we are going to offer, so you can just register and then you get a reminder on that day. I think we'll have one next month. So please do well to go on the website and check. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Next person, can't know who raised their hand first, but they go first. So I don't know how to pronounce that name, but I think you're Malehodi, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. So my name is Chorofajo from Chorofajo Malehodi from South Africa. So I have completed my grade 12, and also I have recently graduated on the 26th of April for my degree. And I'm interested to come and study at the African Leadership University. But one of the hindrances that I'm encountering is that, you see, I finished my matric in 2016, and on the application form, I see that I need to submit my grade 10 and 11 results. Unfortunately, I've been trying my very best to get hold of them. I mean, we've been at home, we moved around very quickly. At some point, I even lost my grade 10 and 11, but I have my grade 12 results. Is it possible that I should request the school that I went to write more like a formal letter that I've completed these grades? Other documents, I do have them, but I don't have grade 10 and 11. I lost my results.
Thank
also,
you. Okay.
I want to study in Mauritius campus. How will that work out for me? How will I be situated in there? Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. The first question, you can submit your application with your national examination result, the A-level one. It's fine. About Mauritius campus, unfortunately, we are not recruiting for Mauritius at the moment, but we will let you know. We will let you know once we start recruiting for Mauritius. So right now we're recruiting for Rwanda campus only. Next person with the question, please unmute and ask.
Thank you for the opportunity. How do you go about applying for the MasterCard Scholars Program?
Pardon, what did you say?
To check, I understand that the MasterCard Scholars Program at your university, and I want to check how you go about it.
All right, if I got you well, I think you're asking how can you apply for MasterCard Foundation scholarship. So the application for scholarship, it's done. You first have to start your normal application for admission in your last stage. Then you will be asked if you want to apply for ALU financial aid. And then you say yes, and they will go ahead. That's how you apply for the MasterCard Foundation scholarship. Thank you. Next person.
Thank you very much.
Yes, hello.
Yes. Can you ask your question, please?
Yes, my name is Ajoko. I'm a refugee encamped in Uganda, Ajumani district. I started my application a few days ago, and I'm stuck on the last stage, which is the financial aid. So there, it has failed to calculate the aid that I'm supposed to get. So I'm just stuck there. What do I do?
Have you tried to use a computer with a good network? Because I think it could be an issue with the network, and use a computer. I would advise everyone not to rely on a phone. sometimes a phone cannot do the whole application. It may get stuck somewhere. So if you haven't tried that, please try and use a computer and re-enter the figures and then click on the button and everything should be all right. If nothing works, please use the help desk and as I showed you, click on submit a request, explain your issue well. If possible, add a screenshot and wait, the team will get back to you.
Okay, thank you. But I did try also the computer. I tried laptop and it also failed to work.
Then
So the only option left to me now is to wire all the document via email.
No. I didn't say we don't accept documents via email. Everything is done through the application portal. What I'm saying is you need to use the help center and report the issue you're facing. If possible, include a screenshot of what you see when you click on that button, and then wait for the team will get back to you.
It's okay, thank you.
All right, next person, please.
Yes, hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Samuel. My question is this one. I've seen that for that Bachelor of Entrepreneur Leadership, you requested B2 level in English. So if someone didn't take that test, can actually his application can be successful or not? Thank you, that's my question.
So here is what happens. If you did English as a course in your national examination and passed well, you are exempted from doing the English proficiency test. And then if you didn't, in your admission decision, they will tell you whether you need to do the test or not. If you do it, if you need to do it and you don't do it, that means you cannot join. You cannot join. You have to you don't, because you don't meet the admission requirement.
This means you have to take that test if you didn't pass the English exam in a high school examination.
Yes.
This means you have to take that test before your application.
No, you can apply and then the team will determine whether you need to do the English test. But if you can do it earlier, it's better. Know that you didn't do English in your national examination. You can do the early the better, but the team, the admission decision will always come to you, telling you if there's anything else you need to do in order to get a full admission.
Okay, for the grade of here in Rwanda, C in English of examination of national examination, it's a good or not?
Anything above 65% in English is good.
Maybe like C.
If C is, because each letter is equivalent to some percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Next person, please.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you're hearing me.
We can hear you.
I'm wondering, while doing my application to LAU, when you start your application, there is time where you reach here where they say, no, please choose a program from a program listing page to get started. When you reach there, I find it as an obstacle because I don't know, as you were saying how we proceed, you didn't say anything about this stage where you. Thank you very much.
Oh, I didn't get you well. Princess, did you get the question?
No, not really.
When you said when you're applying, you reach a section where they ask you to select a program. Is that what you say? And then what happens?
They ask you to select a program.
Program you
And
wish,
when-
right?
yes, and when you click on view programs, actually you don't see them exactly the way you should.
What happens when you click on the view program?
You see, they give you undergraduate application, accepting application, HTLA, African Leadership University Admission Program, and they add more.
Sorry, I can't get you clearly on the part of when you click on the program. Okay, are you able to select the program? Because I think the question is, they're asking you to select the program. What happens? Are you able to select the program or you're not able to select the program?
The question is, you don't see program to select.
Oh, you don't see program to select?
Yes.
Oh.
Please mute yourself if you are not talking.
Can you use our help desk, please, and ask that question? I'm going to follow up also on that to see if it's happening to only one particular student. It's a general problem. But please use the help desk and report that issue, because we want to find out whether it's happening only to you. And the only way to find out is if you raise that issue. But I'm also going to follow up on that.
I do some follow-up, and also I'm going to ask to seek for help, and you see if you shall sort out.
All right, I'm noting that down. I will follow up immediately. Next question, please.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yes.
We can hear you.
If all the program is only in English, that's my question.
What's your question, please?
Hello.
All the program is only in English.
Yes, please. Our language of instruction is English.
Okay. No French, no.
No French.
Okay.
Princess,
Thank you.
do you have time for more
Yes.
questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it is me, Joseph. Yes, I am asking this question. I've seen that one of the recommendations that are required for one to meet is that you're supposed to get the transcript of your performance from grade 10 to 12 in the high school you attended. Then I ask a question that does this apply to those who have graduated in a recognized universities in various institutions, different countries?
Hello, good morning.
Please be patient. We answer the question first. For anyone who's applying and they went to university, we still require you to show us your high school national examination results. But if you happen not to have your school transcript, because we understand you finished high school long time ago, you can still submit. But the most important thing is your national examination result. There's a section for other document. That's when you can put maybe your transcript if you went to university for a few years or you completed university. But for anyone who graduated high school 1 year ago, there's no excuse. They need to provide the national examination, those transcripts for the last 3 academic year. Next question.
Okay, I get you very well then.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? I don't know how to operate this. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. I'm David Atusioba from Anambra State. So I got the notification on my email this morning. So I decided to join and get to understand the program more better. So I just want a brief explanation too. Just want to understand this program more better. I'm a high school, I have my certificate and passport, but I don't know what are the requirements and I just don't know. Please just explain to me briefly. I just want to understand what it's all about.
Thank you so much for your question. So this is, we offer undergraduate programs, and one of them is Bachelor of Entrepreneurial Leadership and Software Engineering. The documents you need are your national examination results for high school, and your passport, of course, as your national identification. And
all right. I'm an engineer also, but not by qualification, but by experiment, I would say. I've worked in different companies, unlike a Chinese company over there in Ibadan and in Lagos, Inlon, Chemitech and others, about 4 different companies, mostly on iron steel work. So I have my passport also, so I don't know if I'm qualified for the program. I would really like to
yes,
join
as
you guys.
I told you, we are offering undergraduate programs, and they were offering only 2 programs, software engineering and then Bachelor for Entrepreneurial Leadership. As long as you meet our minimum requirements, having graduated from high school, having your national examination results, having passed 3 principal passes with an average of C, then you are eligible to apply for one of our programs.
All right, I think I'm qualified then. I will look forward to the next email, maybe how to apply for the issue for the show program, I think.
Please, Princess, can you drop our application link or website? That's where you will find more information. Next question, please.
All right, thank you, sir.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Sorry, I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So just finished my high school this year, and the national exams are coming in December. So you guys said the application closed on 1st November. I don't know if there is still available to be applying this opportunity to the ALU. Can you receive the grades, all the last 3 grades from grade 10 to 12? I have them, and I also have passed the English during my grade 10 to 11 also. Is it possible to apply, yet I don't have the national examination result?
Thank you for your question. Your application will only be reviewed if you submit national examination results. So I would advise you to wait. Once you get it, apply, and if the deadline for September, for January intake would have passed, just apply for any intake available, and then reach out to the team once, let's say, because you said your national examination result will be out in this December, and that will be close to the start of the January intake, which will be too late. But just once you get your result, just do your application, submit, and then reach out to one of the team, ask them if you want to join the January intake, and then we will see how we can help you join the January intake. I hope
Okay, thank you. I also have a question. Is it like during grade 10 to 12, I've passed the English one. Is it really necessary for the English certificate?
Sure. What was your question again?
I'm asking, from grade 10 to 12, I have passed the English one during the subject of English. Is it really necessary for the English certificate, yet I've done it?
Yeah, if you have English as a course in your report form for the last 3 academic year and you passed well, you may be exempted from doing the English proficiency test. So just submit your application, and then the team will decide for you whether you are required to do it or not. But make sure you have your grade reports for the last 3 academic year. Make sure they are well scanned so that all the information can be seen from there.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, good
Hello.
afternoon. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I wanted you to shed a bit more light when you talked about the financial part, like the tuition fee, accommodation, and then you also talked about a down payment of $250. If you don't mind, I'll sort of like you to elaborate more on that financial aspect so that I can understand better what the commitments are. Thank you.
All right, great question. So our tuition fees is 3,000 USD per year. That is tuition fees excluding other expenses like accommodation and meals for those who wish to stay in ALU residence. Though it's optional, but for the sake of students who come from other countries in Africa, they're new in the country, we make sure they have that option of housing so that they're looking for housing. So accommodation and meals is separate from tuition fees. Let me start with tuition fees. For tuition fees, once you're admitted, you first pay the deposit. This is the money to show us that you're coming so that we know the actual number to prepare for. So this money, once you pay, reflects in our account. You'll be now able to fill some other section in the portal where you have to select whether you want to stay in ALU residence or not. Then you select your medical insurance if you have your own medical insurance that will cover you in Rwanda. Princess, can you go to that slide as I'm explaining cost of attendance? So once you do all this, then you will go to tuition section. That's where now you will be able to say no. So the 3,000, you're given an option to, it's not this one, the cost of attendance. For the 3,000, now you'll be given an option to pay in 2 installments. So our tuition fees for the whole year can be paid in term 1. At the beginning, before you report on campus, you have to clear the tuition fees, and then at the end, that is if you select to pay in 2 installments. So you select how you want to be paying your tuition fees. You want to pay everything at once, you select that option. So the 250 for deposit, it's deducted from, Princess, can you go to that slide, please? It's deducted from the 3,000. So for example, if you have to pay 3,000 USD per year and you've already paid the 1,200, and then you go ahead, you select to pay in 2 installments, then your first installment will be 1,250 because 250 you already paid it, and then your next installment will be 1,500, which you get an invoice which indicates what you're supposed to pay as your first installment and what you will pay as your second installment and the date. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes. For the housing, when am I expected to pay that as well? Is it when I'm paying for the tuition fee?
Yes.
That I'm supposed to pay for the housing as well?
Yes, so the housing, it cannot be paid in installment. You should count, if you opt in for the housing, you should count 1,800 USD, which is paid once at the same time. So the invoice will come with tuition fees and the housing all together. You pay everything together, including insurance.
Okay. Thank you very much. So after every 4 months, I'm expected to pay another $800.
Accommodation and housing, meal, like accommodation, it goes out. You are supposed to pay 1,800.
1,800.
But since ALU students stay in the residence, like at ALU, they do their study in the first term in person. You may not pay this money because you'll be out. Probably you will rent your own place if you want to stay in Rwanda, or if you go back home to your own country to study from there, and then you don't need to.
Okay. Thank you very much for that explanation. That answers my question.
All right.
Okay. So guys, thank you all for the questions. I know you all have questions, a lot of questions, but time is not permitting us to answer all. So you can send a ticket through our help desk. Please go to the website. I shared the link in the chat as well. You can send a ticket and describe the questions you have, your concern, the problem, and within 24 hours, you receive response from the admission team.